My name's Neil Bingham. I founded Silverwood Colliery Heritage Group around about 4 years ago, I think it were. I was born and raised in a coal mining community, Sunnyside, and yeah, so that was sort of reasons why I wanted to form this group.
I'm Sylvie Croft, been part of this group from the beginning. Obviously got same village, married to a miner.
Andy Orcott, used to drive past the pit all the time. Don't have any connections in terms of family with the pit, but years later found Neil and the Facebook group. Recently retired, wanted to help out, give something back, and keep the story of the pit alive. So
I'm Pauline Davis, married to a Silverwood miner. My father-in-law worked at Silverwood and joined the group when it first started, and here we are today.
I'm Dave Roper. I used to work at Silverwood for 20 years.
We run a pop-up museum. Over the last 4 years we've collected a number of donations from Silverwood Colliery, which we turn into displays. We showcase them in parish halls, village halls, anywhere basically that'll allow us to do that. Yeah, we do events up at the actual pit site itself. We do memorial services, remembrance services. We've recently put on a cinema experience screening of Brassed Off, which was that with
a couple of months ago.
Yeah. So we kind of try and do as much as we can, and we're looking at different events and different things that we can possibly do and sort of branch out on all the time.
And also we are going into Clifton Park Museum and put a display there and help them with the display that they've put on for the strike.
Yeah, so last year we got involved. Well, Clifton Park Museum have supported us from day one, really, but last year we got a bit more involved with them. We put an exhibition in their test space. Again, it's all based on Silverwood Colliery's history, showcasing all donations, memorabilia, artefacts and things that we've got. And it were supposed to run for 3 months, but due to the interest and the positivity that surrounded it, it ended up staying in there for 6 months. And it had a total of just under 29,000 visitors in 6 months, which we were just amazed by, and I think they were as well. I think they said that it was one of the best responses that they've ever had to a test exhibition.
I think sort of testament to why we do what we do as well. We had some really interesting feedback on that. An example that really springs to mind is a lady had brought her dad, who was an ex-Silverwood miner, unfortunately suffering from Alzheimer's, and she sort of lost him a little bit as part of that. And as soon as he walked into the museum, it was like she got her dad back. When he was walking around, he was telling us, "I've got a lump in my throat," talking about it. But she got her dad back, and she came to us at the end and said, "Thanks very much for that." It's really powerful stuff. So, yeah. And that's why we do what we do. So, yeah. We've got an exciting project coming up. We don't want to say too much about it as well, but we're going to branch out into doing some heritage and nature walks around the former pit site, where we'll talk about the buildings, what the miners used to do in those buildings, and how it's progressed through the years, and how it's ended up being the nature reserve that it is, including the sort of flora and fauna and stuff. So, watch out for that over the coming months.
Um, 2052, the last time I looked, which was yesterday. It brings people together. It reconnects people. It reminds people of the history that we've got here on our doorstep. I think that pretty much sums it up. It's all about people's well-being.
The pop-up museums as well. We invite the local schools along.
Yeah.
So it's education.
We've had some classes come to those events. So from an educational point of view, that's really important. And see the kids, never seen a piece of coal before, getting dirty and rubbing it on their faces and stuff, really interacting with the displays that we do. That's quite powerful. I think as well at the Brassed Off event, we had over 100 people there, and just to bring everybody together for the community, for a community event, it's just powerful stuff. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm involved, obviously. I used to walk across former pit site a lot, and as I say, I grew up in Sunnyside, which is like a 10-minute walk to Silverwood Colliery from there. Everyone in my family, even including my grandma, worked at Silverwood Colliery. She was a cleaner in offices. My dad comes from a long generation of coal miners that worked at Silverwood, and it were always a big part of my life as a kid growing up. Everything in the village was centred around Silverwood Colliery, and having stayed in that village after its closure and demolition, you kind of see how the community and where you live changes. It's almost as if someone's just come along and ripped the heartbeat out of that community. And so for me, it was sort of like we can't let this place be forgotten. We can't just let it disappear. We've got to do something to keep it alive, keep that history and that heritage passed on. And so that's why I got involved with doing this. For me, it's all about keeping that history and that heritage alive, and reconnecting people and bringing people together.
Coming from a mining background with my grandparents, my great-grandparents and my great-great-grandparents, and being married to a miner that worked at Silverwood, we need to keep the mining district there as an heritage.
Yeah, same. I mean, I said I don't have that background that the other guys in the community have, but having driven past it to work every day, seeing it disappear, and just see, you wouldn't know, other than the wheel that's there now, you wouldn't know that it used to be a colliery. So all the kids that are growing up in, Sunnyside, Bramley, Dalton, Thryburgh, Ravenfield, they just don't know. And I think it's really important that as the generations pass, there's a real danger that social history disappears, and it's our passion to keep it alive.
My husband worked out so 25 years, and then he worked at Maltby for 10 years, so I'm proud he's a miner. But yeah, I'm proud that it's, I'm sad it's gone.
We had quite a lot of support from Rutherford, especially right at the beginning. They came along and they helped us set up a group constitution, set up a bank account. They kind of helped us with structuring how we would sort of organise and plan events, and how to reach out to communities, how to sort of like a lot of stuff really.
How to be a community group, really,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Which was great.
Yeah. And then they continued to support us as well with events and things. They turned up and made sure that we were sort of like we were doing what we should be doing, and yeah, they continued to support us, and they still do to this day.
Do.
Yeah.
Gosh, where do we start? Big plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots.
So when Neil started the group, there was a big sort of distant dream of having a permanent heritage centre. So that'll take hundreds of thousands of pounds, which we're quite a way off. That's still something that we've got, but we're building steps to get to that. So we've got things like the pop-up museum, we've got heritage and nature walks around the pit top, school educational visits, potentially more sort of social cinema screenings.
Yeah.
We want to digitally archive all of the artifacts that we've got and start to record some of that social history as well. And that ties in with the sort of Clifton Park.
So we've been contacted and done interviews for people like Clifton Park Museum. We were contacted. I know you did BBC 1984-85 miners' strike documentaries. Channel 4 have sort of contacted us and wanting to arrange interviews and things with us. And you two did a lot for Clifton Park Museum with audio recordings and things like that.
I've done one for Ram Town magazine, BBC 2, and then we did that Clifton Park.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, sort of moving forward and where we want to be in future, I think that idea of having a permanent Silverwood space somewhere is always been sort of my ambition and my dream, if you like. Definitely something that I do want to pursue, but showing that there's an interest and support from community. So yeah, that's where we sort of want to be and what we're going to carry on doing.
At the moment, looking at a temporary
Yeah.
place for 3 months to see if it would work.
Trial period.
Yeah.
A trial period in a building just to see if it's feasible to have a permanent structure.